What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today, we are going to be talking about just a little bit of Final Shape news for y'all, that we are getting some pretty sweet changes with the ability of weapon enhancements, and little changes to Mementos, plus I wanted to cover some of those new exotic weapons, the exotic chess pieces that we're getting for our characters, plus those exotic class item combinations and what my favorite are for each of those classes. So just a little Final Shape news for y'all and the update, because we are getting a nice big old subclass tuning tomorrow with some release of an article on Destiny. So we are going to cover that in our future videos with some top builds and some weapons that y'all should be bringing into the Final Shape, because it is about to be absolutely wild. So first off, something easy that we are going to cover right here is our Mementos. Next season, they are actually going to be going away from our inventory and into a separate, like, little pool, if you will, inside of that crafting menu. We'll still be able to access them, but instead of only having one like we do here with our Dawning or our Gambit, I should say our Guardian Games one, we are going to be able to have 3 of these stacked up, so you're going to be able to save and pick and choose a couple different guns instead of having that FOMO, if you will, of having only one and wasting it on a gun that you don't like it on. Next off, next season, which is going to be one of the biggest and best changes around the board besides prismatic and some of the sandbox things that we're getting, is this weapon enhancement ability. So in the Final Shape, all new weapons will either be craftable or have access to enhanced perks through that enclave and the crafting system, kind of like with the adept Ron weapons. You could upgrade it to level 1, level 2, level 3, and then that'll give you the enhanced masterwork for the first one, and then the third and fourth column perks for the second upgrade and the third one. So stuff, especially like these brave weapons, that's why in my video all about the prep for changes with bounties, weapons, stuff like that, since we're getting leveling changes, is the brave weapons with these double perks on them. They are all gonna have the ability to be enhanced, so we are going to be able to enhance slide shot, heal clip, incandescent, and opening shot on this in Luna's Howl right here. So this is my god roll that I got so far for both the PvE, PvP realms for a single weapon in the double brave perks. So this is going to be absolutely nasty next season. And on top of that, all of the active drops in all of these activities will be eligible for the enhancement of the perks, even some of the old drops. So we're going to have Vow of the Disciple Adepts, Kingfall Adepts, Guardian Game Weapons, Crucible Weapons, Crucible Comp, Trials, just a normal Gambit. We're going to have Iron Banner, Nightfalls, so GMs, everything like that with the Adepts as well, and the Prophecy Dungeons. So all of those plus the Brave Weapons are going to be able to have those enhanced perks. So stuff is going to be absolutely nutty inside of the Final Shape for enhancing some of these weapons. So this will kind of be how it works. This is an adept Ron weapon that I have, and you will be able to use this enhancement slot. So the first one, you can see the kind of things that it'll take. We enhance it once, and this will actually be our masterwork, which will be able to be an enhanced masterwork that we can throw on here with these adepts and everything, leveling it up. Next, we're going to be able to get this up to level 11 to get the second upgrade, which will enhance our reconstruction. After that, once we get this second one, which will actually be a level 17, we are able to get the third and fourth column enhanced. So this thing inside of the PvE realm with reconstruction and hatchling, at least for me, with that strand synergy, is going to be pretty disgusting. So I am excited to be able to do this on all of the weapons that I just listed, as well as all of the new ones that we are getting inside of the Final Shape are going to have this particular potential right here, like I'm showing in the background, or be able to be crafted in general. So it's gonna have some crazy weapon synergy and crafting potential inside of the final shape. So then it is a beautiful, beautiful change that they're adding because of the vault space one. Plus there's a lot of weapons that I wish the enhanced perks came on, because they do feel way better than just a normal perk. Next on the list, we're gonna just real quick cover the exotics so far that Bungie has released to us that we can see inside of the Bungie.net as well as on their Twitter. So first off, we got the Microchasm Heavy Trace. This deals a massive bonus damage to those shields, so we'll be able to rip off shields of combatants, hopefully with champions as well, something like a barrier champion. And then as well, inside of the little gameplay that they showed in that snippet, it almost seems like we're going to be able to switch affinities on it. So like Hard Light or Borealis, where we can switch between Arc, Solar, Void, because it looked like on some of those final defeats that there was different explosions coming off of them. So this is going to be an interesting heavy weapon that we got for a trace rifle, especially pairing it with something like a Cenotaph Warlock. Next off, we got the trusty, dusty OG weapon of Destiny, the Kvostov 7G auto rifle. This thing is coming back as an exotic weapon where it is every 7th bullet actually ricochets between enemies. So it's a bunch of different bounces that it has in that gameplay, and with a 7th bullet being the thing, it seems like it is going to be pretty crazy at the ad clear potential of it, because it did look like it bounced around quite a bit. So it's going to be a nice little auto rifle to have for that ad clear potential as an exotic. So we will see how this thing actually plays out and how we can build it out to do a little bit more damage with those bounces. Third on the list is the Still Hunt. This thing is giving us the ability to basically have a golden gun on any single subclass. So it charges up powerful shots, turns it into a golden gun, and we are able to use this as an exotic weapon on our characters. So that thing is going to be absolutely nasty. It is a sniper rifle, so this thing is going to be super fun to use in my personal opinion, and very curious to see if it'll pair with Celestial Nighthawk. We got the Mementos for the Warlock. This right here is going to use our arcane needles to cause a suspension detonation, so this does have to be on strand or even with our prismatic. I think we have arcane needles on that, so it's going to have the potential to pair it with both of those. Does look like it has the potential to suspend a bunch of enemies, so this is going to be a nice little ad suspension, ad clear, if you will, and support build in my personal opinion, especially with those threadlings and abilities of the Strand Warlock. Next off, we got the Gifted Conviction for our Hunter right here. This is Arc Aspects Create Bouncing Explosives. So it seems like we're going to have a new Arc aspect where we do that twirling staff that you see in the little trailer that it has for it. But our other aspects are Flow State, Tempest Strike, as well as a Lethal Current. So not sure how some of those are going to be able to proc this, but it is going to be able to create a little bit of bouncing betties that get thrown around from using these aspects. So whether it be in our dodge, in our grenade, or in our melee, it seems like, depending on the aspect that we get. So little bit of an interesting one to get procced, but we will see how this plays out. And with the arc potential, haven't seen that subclass come up in a second. Last but certainly not least, we got the Goated Titans, of course, with the hazardous propulsion. So right here, we're able to fire explosive rockets. They call them Exodus rockets, where I'm not actually sure what weapon fires those or what enemy does, but that is the name of the exact rockets when we throw down our class ability. So when we throw down our shield, whether it be in the barricade or the full version, we're going to shoot out a bunch of rockets that tracks to the enemies in front of us and do an explosion. So this is kind of cool because it seems like it is a any class exotic. You don't have to be on Arc like on the Hunter, or Strand or Prismatic like the Warlock. This can be thrown on literally any of our subclasses that we're getting in Prismatic as the ones we have to. So I think Hazardous Propulsion is going to have the most wide effect, but we'll see how good those rockets actually are, because if it's trash, nobody's going to use it, of course, especially since we got those exotic class items, which we will cover here in a second. But I am excited to try this bad boy out for different subclasses and see what we can do. Maybe make it more powerful with something, or causing chain reactions in Arc, something like that with Volatile and Void, but we will see what we can come up with on that bad boy. Alright, so last but not least, we have our exotic class items, which will only be able to be used on Prismatic, but these little charts are a little funky because there's definitely some inside of them that are for other subclasses, but then it goes back to being correct at the bottom, so little things just to be careful of. But with our Hunter right here on the screen, you can see which ones we have, minus the Inmost Light and the in Synthoceps. That one is definitely for our Titan, and then I don't know why, but then they go back to being normal all of a sudden, so little weird combination. Plus Ophidian and Verity. I don't know if there's a Verity for a Hunter that I can think of. Verity's Brow is for a Warlock. So, but besides that, you'll see those on the next images as well. But I think there's going to be some pretty insane combinations, especially something, in my opinion, like Galanor and Gear Falcons being able to go invisible with volatile rounds, and getting the super final blows will return super energy, as well as the Spirit of Assassin, the top one. Those finishers and melees will make us invisible, plus Star Eaters will be able to give our super some insane juice. So Prismatic, that's going to be pretty nasty in my personal opinion. And then for PvP, that Caliban with Wormhusk is going to be disgusting in my opinion. So I think that those are going to be my favorites for that subclass, but we will see how the combinations play out inside of Prismatic. Next right here is the Titan, so ignore the top one, the Spirit of Ophidian as well. Those are for our two different subclasses with the Hunter and our Warlock, but Spirit of Inmost Light with Synthoceps is going to be one of the ones that I try out first. Inmost is easily one of the best for ability spam, and then Synthos is easily one of the best for damage with your melee, so that I think with Prismatic is going to be disgusting. On top of that, I really like the combination of Hoarfrost and Scars. Having that ability to cause a little bit of an elemental burst is going to be nice with that healing aspect, as well as our Barricade turns into a stasis wall, so hopefully we'll be able to create some stasis shards from that, get our melee back, and be able to heal, protect. It'll be a nice, interesting little synergy in my opinion. And then with Spirit of the Bear and Armamentariums getting a couple extra grenades while being able to use our Barricade to block some of that damage. Don't know how effective some of these will be, but I think it's going to be crazy to be able to combine all of these exotic traits on those exotic subclass items. Now last but not least, again, we got our Warlock right here. To ignore the top two rows right there, those are for our Hunter and our Titan, but the last rows are definitely what we are going to go for our Warlock here. I like the combination of Osiomancy and Swarm. Tangles mixed with Cold Snaps is going to be an interesting freeze plus detonation and unraveling, so that is going to be an add clear, add suppression build for sure in my opinion. Now we also have something like Filaments and Harmony. Harmony is definitely a little underwhelming, but we are going to be able to use Prismatic, so not sure with final blows with weapons that have the same damage type as that. It'll probably be whatever super is being used for that certain Prismatic subclass, so that'll be nice. Plus a Devour on those Empyrean Rifts with that Filament is going to be a good little combination, because Devour is one of my personal favorite perks that we have had inside of Destiny. It is a very good way to get your energy back and stay alive in some of that end game activity. Not sure how Necrotic and Starfire will pair, but that poison will be pretty nice with the grenade recharge from those damaged weapons, so it's going to be a good combination as well. But those will probably be my 3 that I am looking for, or that combination maybe in the first and second column, but we can really pick and choose, I think, once we get in there. If we get one with like Necrotic and Harmony, that'll be pretty cool. Necrotic and Vesper, so we will see what kind of combinations we will get in the final shape. But I think these exotic class items with Prismatic are going to be disgusting, but we will see a little bit of everything too with the subclasses and the sandbox changes coming out in the article today. So I appreciate all you guys. Again, I'll catch you in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. Helps me out, helps out the channel a bunch, and we are going to be cranking out videos for y'all going into the final shape and once it drops. So I appreciate all you guys. Again, I will catch you in the next one. Peace.